walk you through now. So one of the practices that I use when I want to put myself into a highly positive and bliss state is to do a walking meditation where I walk, and every tree I see, I tell them that I love them. Because what this does when I say I love you to a tree is it releases serotonin, dopamine and oxytocin into my mind. So it puts me in this really chemically bliss state or stone state, because we've got to understand with drugs, that is what they're doing. The drug itself doesn't do anything to you. The drug alters your body's biochemical responses to either dumping a lot of serotonin, dumping a lot of dopamine, or dumping a lot of oxytocin. Do you understand? Do you see? So in everything, okay, in any moment in life, I can feel however I want to feel. You know, I can use my mind to create a heightened energy where I feel excited and, you know, ecstatic and exuberant in life, and I'm buzzing and I'm just jumping for joy. Because think about it like this. If you were in a competition to win a car and you really wanted that car, the moment you win that car, boom, you're exuberant, you're excited. You know, if you're at work and you're going for a promotion, a big promotion, and you get the news that you got that promotion, bang, you're exuberant, you're excited. You know, maybe you're trying to land a new client and you land this massive account, and then they have some referrals as well, so you get 3 or 4, and you're in this exuberant, amazed state where you're empowered and you feel amazing about yourself. In any moment of life, we do not need the external stimuli to put us into that state. We can do it all just with the power of our mind and with the power of narrative, of our thoughts, our beliefs, our focus. You know, just shifting perspective and understanding how amazing life is. And you know, every day that I get to take, you know, breath, that I breathe, I am exuberant about life, because I have the most important thing in life, which is life. But in the same, you know, sort of thing, my perspective can take it from me having the most amazing life to, if I'm focusing on the negative, no matter how amazing my life is, I never feel that way. I always feel like I'm missing things. I always feel in lack, like I don't have anything. That's the power of our mind. So it's like, for example, take it if you're in a relationship with the love of your life, right? But you get fired. You're still in a relationship with the love of your life. Your life is complete. You're happy. But now you have all this anxiety and stress. How am I going to provide? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? You know, you're feeling that loss, that lack. So no matter how amazing your life is, because you focus on this, you cannot feel it. You're down in the dumps. Do you see? So it works both ways. So it's, you know, we can have our external environment or our life can be, you know, our ideal of the worst situation. But just through our perspective and what we focus on, we can empower ourselves and basically be in what is considered the worst situation in life and feel exuberant and happy and excited about life. And you see this all the time. And this is the key to being able to shift our environmental states or our life from being in a negative state to being in a highly positive state. It's what we focus on. So through this walking meditation, okay, when we're walking past a tree, we want to reach out and we want to touch that tree, but not just put our hand out and brush past the tree. No, we want to put the attention and the focus in on touching it as if we would caress the love of our life. And we want to tell that tree, I love you. Because what that's going to do is that action is the action we typically will take when we are in love. Do you get it? So by recreating that scenario, even if it's just with a tree, what is happening is we're tricking our biochemical responses to have that response that when we're with, the love of our life and we caress them and tell them we love them, we're getting the exact same biochemical dump of oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin. And what this does is this puts us into a blissed state where problems cease to be. Have you ever noticed in your life, when you're with the people that you love, you don't need to do anything. You can just be. Do you see? It's because the dopamine, makes us feel like we've accomplished everything. Dopamine's the accomplishment drug, or the accomplishment chemical. So when we're able to dump dopamine, we're able to feel at peace. When we're able to dump oxytocin, oxytocin is the connection chemical. So when we dump oxytocin into our body, we feel connected. So we're feeling at peace, satisfied, achieved. We're feeling connected. We're feeling that love. And when we're able to dump serotonin, we're able to feel joy, happiness, because serotonin's the happiness chemical. Do you see? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create connection. We're trying to create, the dopamine, the achievement of being able to tell my love that I love you. Do you understand? We're able to dump the serotonin because we're taking an action that we associate to being a highly positive and exciting and fun time, and a time that makes us feel happy. So by us recreating the actions in terms of we're not just touching it, but we're caressing it as we're caressing. So when you grab a leaf, you grab it softly, like you would grab the hair of your love. Do you understand? Like you would rub your fingers over their face. Do you see? We have to recreate it. So if I want to take myself and put myself into an exuberant and really excited state of mind to where I'm feeling empowered and I'm feeling like I can take on the world, well, I have to recreate an activity that does that. Do you know what I mean? So if we think about it like this, how do we do that? Well, we could jump around, because usually, when I'm jumping around, when I'm out in play, I'm quite excitable. Do you see? So think about in your life, when you're with friends and you're just mucking around and you're roughhousing and you're just playing around. It doesn't matter what you're doing, but you're in this enthusiastic, excited state. Think when you're with a dog and you're playing with that dog. You've got all the energy. The same with a kid, with a child. Do you see? So what we want to do is we want to recreate those states of mind through our actions, through what we're doing. So if I want to get into an empowered state where I feel excited, I have to animate myself. I have to do stuff. I have to start moving. And when I start moving and I get my body excited through movement, I'm raising my energy. And now my energy's up there. Do you see? So we have to know these different movements of the body, because the movements of our body is how we control the biochemical responses, because the biochemical responses are natural responses to states that we are naturally in. So when I'm out there and I'm running and I'm playing and I'm, exuberant and I'm doing things, because I'm exuberant and I'm in a state of flow and I'm moving at a rapid race or a rapid pace, what happens is my body has to respond with the biochemical responses. So for example, for me, I noticed when I was doing weights training, if I could go and put myself into a high, doing rows and rowing as hard as I could for 10 minutes, running as hard as I could for 10 minutes, riding as hard as I could for 10 minutes. If I could do that before I went and lifted weights, I was in this empowered state to where my energy was at a heightened level. So when I would lift the weights, I would be more exuberant. Like you can see just from this motion, my body is moving at a quicker pace. My speech, it speeds up. My thinking, it's quicker. Do you see that just by having the movement? So in sales, we learn this, even if you're selling over the phone, just by moving, I'm going to alter my vocal range. I'm going to alter my tonalities, but I'm also going to sound more vibrant. If I just sit like this and I refuse to move, it's much harder for me to artificially, heighten or lower my vocal range or my tone, okay, my pitch, things like that. So you got to understand, if we want to get our, for example, if we're going into a job interview and we're interviewing for a part and we want to be someone that's seen as sharp, enthusiastic, well, we want to be animated while we are talking. We don't want to be sitting here going like this, "Hey mate, how's it going? You having a great day?" No. We want to be using natural, descriptive body language to move with what we are saying. So it doesn't matter what the hands do, so long as they're following the cadence of the speech. It doesn't matter how you move your hands. If they follow the cadence of the speech, they will emphasize whatever you are saying. Okay? So just understand that it doesn't matter how you move your hands, your body language is a descriptive tool for visual. So when we're talking to someone, we're using our body language to convey messages of what we are doing. Okay? So naturally, your body language will know how to move your hands. And what ceases, or what makes it difficult for you to naturally access your body language, will be in your internal state of mind. So things like being in your ego, being worried about what other people are going to think about how you look, will make you self-conscious of how your body language moves. So you'll be sitting there and you'll be trying to think, and you'll do small actions, and if I'm shouting but I'm only taking small actions, I won't seem exuberant. But if I'm taking large actions and my voice naturally raises, or the tone or the power or force behind my voice matches my body language, people will think, this person, there's someone who is captivating, charismatic. They can hold my attention. Do you see? So what we want to do when we're trying to biochemically alter our state of mind is we want our energetic state, which is just that exuberance, the energy that we have, to match our emotional state. So if I'm highly stressed and I'm highly movement, so I'm moving at a rate, I'm trying to talk, but I'm highly agitated, you're going to feel that this person is mentally unstable or they're emotionally unstable. Whereas if I'm excited, You're going to feel that this person is excited, and the body language emphasizes the tonality, emphasizes the words that we say. So just understand this, that in being able to have a baseline to where we can artificially reset our emotional state to a baseline, okay, and then we're able to use biochemical dumps to, increase ourselves through movement, through excitement. We're able to use our tonality, okay, and our language, okay. So if we're like this, but we have aggressive language, people will feel intimidated. So we want to be aware of that. But the other thing is, okay, when we're trying to feel exuberant, when we're trying to, because you think about it, why do we want to be exuberant? Why do we want to be charismatic in life? Because we're trying to attract certain kinds of attention. Does that make sense? So, for example, if I'm trying to attract attention when I'm in a sales situation, I don't want people to think I'm, silly. So I want to use controlled movements to sort of display, or emphasize what I'm saying. But if I'm trying to attract, for example, friends or things like that, or I'm trying to captivate and entertain friends when I'm telling a story, well, then I want to be a lot more playful with my movements. And that's also going to affect the way that I convey messages. Does that make sense? So, this biohacking our mind, or our chemical states, or our biochemical states, is all about what are we trying to achieve. Because if I'm trying to achieve a calm bliss state, well, then I want to be taking slower movements. I want to be more conservative with my body language, because I want to keep my energetic state low. And our energetic state is our excitement. Because if I'm in a highly excited state, that is to the same as being a highly energetic state, where my energy is really heightened, so being blissful will be quite difficult. So we want to be able to raise our energetic levels when needed, and then lower them back down when needed. And the way we do this is through the breath. So things like breathing deeply, of staying calm, but it's also clearing the mind. So things like not focusing on problems, not focusing on everything in life, trying to be in the moment. Because when we're in the moment, we're able to react to any moment. When we're not trying to control life. When I'm trying to control life, I'm trying to predict. I'm trying to, be perfect. So the easiest way to get ourselves centered in terms of really having a calm biochemical state, or having that baseline, really revolves around losing the ego. Because the ego is always focused on control. So when I'm not trying to control the situation, and I'm just in the situation and I'm moving through the situation, I'm not thinking about how do I look in this. I'm not thinking about am I saying the right words. I'm just trusting myself and moving through and trying to convey a message. So that's sort of the difference I've found, is if we're trying to tell someone something, we're sort of trying to control it. You know what I mean? So we're trying to force someone to think like this way. Whereas if we're just explaining something, what we're doing is we're explaining through our experience or through our knowledge. So this has always been an easy way for me to pull out of that ego, is that the ego wants to tell, whereas, naturally we just want to explain. Because the whole point of communication is to help people understand. So it's not to say, I know the right path and you have to follow my path. It's more of just, this is the path that I use to get the results. Do you understand? So like in anything in life, whatever you want